Hey everyone, and welcome in. This is the Tucker Meyer Show. Today we are joined by a very special guest, and she's actually on the line with us right now. Joining us on the line is Jimenez, aka the Conservative Latina. She is a political activist, writer for the Republican Hispanic National Assembly, director of engagements for Bienvenido, and a Turning Point USA ambassador. Emma, thanks so much for joining us today. I really appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Of course. So tell us a little about your background and why you are a conservative.
Well, I'm a political activist. A lot of people know me on social media as the Conservative Latina. I was born in Lima, Peru, in South America. I came to the country legally when I was only 2 years old with my family. I became a U.S. citizen in 2015. I'm a conservative because as a Hispanic woman, my values are naturally conservative. Hispanics are raised in Christian homes. Majority of them are pro-life, and we believe in hard work to reach the American dream.
Very cool, very cool. So that leads to the next question. Are you a supporter of President Trump, and why?
I was not in the beginning, so let me just say that. I believed all of the lies that the left was feeding me, that he was anti-immigrant and all of that other stuff, and I started doing my own individual work on him. I started digging up on him, and I started seeing that the left was lying to me about who this man really was. I am now a supporter of President Trump. I saw that he was keeping his promises that he made to the American people, that I did see that our economy was improving under him, and it continues to improve under him. Hispanics, Latinos, blacks, we're doing amazing under his presidency. So yes, I am a big time supporter of President Trump, and he will win my vote in 2020. It will be the first time I will be voting for a presidential candidate.
Very, very cool. I was actually the same way. I actually believed some of the lies the media told me, and I actually did my own research, and now I've come to the conclusion I am pro-Trump as well. But that leads to the next question where you said about the lies. There's been this lie going around, and I hear this from a lot of Latinos, and when I ask them, like, why do you hate the President Trump, and they say, well, because he has called Mexicans rapists and murderers. But is that true?
You know, I saw this. I saw the speech that he made. Could he have worded it differently? Maybe. But it didn't offend me because I'm not a murderer. I'm not a rapist. I'm not here illegally. He wasn't talking about legal immigrants. He said amongst those coming here illegally, some are rapists and murderers. Are we going to deny that? Now, I can understand as an immigrant, all right? I can understand that those that are coming to the country illegally are wanting a better life for them and their family. However, their very existence outside of the law, what it's doing is furnishing an opportunity for those that have very ill intentions, bad hombres, like he likes to call them, to hide in the very same shadows as them. We can't assume that everyone that's coming to this country illegally is a saint. We just can't.
Right, I totally agree with that 100%. So on average, the Democratic Party receives 70% Latino vote on average. To 2016, Hillary got 65% Latino vote, and Trump got 29. Is this a voting pattern that we're kind of seeing, just like we see in the blacks?
Democrats have been very good for a very long time. They have been very good at making the other side seem like they don't care about minorities. They've always been very good, and I have to give them credit for this. The Democrats, the left, has always been very good at community outreach when it comes to the Hispanic, Black community. Republicans, not so much. I remember I remember growing up in the ghetto, and I would see see Democrats that were running for office, going into our communities, claiming that they were fighting for us, that they were the only ones that cared for us. I never saw a white Republican do the same, at least growing up. Being present matters because it says a lot. I do see that now Republicans are stepping up to the plate, and they are reaching out to the Hispanic and Black community. But a lot of our own people in our community, they aren't wanting to hear what they have to offer because they've been lied to for so long that they just don't want to hear that side. The left, they like I said, they've been very good at pandering to our community for a very long time. That's why we need individual activists to really go out into our communities, the communities that we know in and out, and do our own individual activism when it comes to what's going on in the world of politics and how it's affecting our communities in general.
Right. Yeah. So that also kind of leads. So in 2012, Romney got 27% of the Latino vote, and Trump got 29%. So it's a 2% increase. Do you kind of see Latinos kind of maybe waking up more now as time goes on?
Yeah, of course. And you know what? You're going to see that percentage only go up. I think a lot of Hispanics, a lot of Latinos, we're starting to realize that we've been lied to. We've been deceived. Leftist media has mocked our intelligence. They think we're stupid. They lied about Trump. For example, they lied about Trump referring to immigrants as animals. I don't know if you remember that.
I do remember that. Yeah.
Okay, when he really was referring to MS-13. The original video had been altered to portray Trump to make it seem like he was talking about, him referring to immigrants as animals when really he wasn't. All right, that video had been altered, but by that time, that video had already gone viral. They used photos of immigrant children in cages and blamed the Trump administration when really those photos were taken during the Obama administration. Yeah. They lied about Puerto Rico, what's going on in Puerto Rico. Blame the Puerto Rican government. Don't blame Trump for what's happening. They've been hiding these supplies from, the Puerto Rican citizens, but yet they're blaming Trump for it.
Yeah.
So, it's very self-evident at this point that the leftist media and the Democrats are working together to make the other side look like, oh, they're racist, they're anti-immigrant, and, et cetera, in order to save what's left of their base.
I mean, yeah, and you know how the Latino unemployment rate's at a record low now, and their wages are going up, but clearly the media is not sharing that with the voters, which is actually sad.
They know that immigration, they know that our communities, they know that issues like such as immigration, they're very emotional. It's a very emotional topic for us, and they're trying to right now, win us over by using that. They're trying to manipulate us into thinking that the other side is anti-immigrant, that they don't care about us, by constantly making the other side seem, like I said, racist, that they don't, racist against brown people and so forth. And you know what? It's not working. Latinos, Hispanics, we're a lot smarter than that.
Yeah, and then so coming from a legal immigrant, what are your thoughts on illegal immigration?
I don't like it. I went through the process. My family went through the process. I'm thankful for my mom and dad. Because of them going through the process, I was able to come here legally. I wasn't separated from them.
Yeah, and then so coming from a legal immigrant, what are your thoughts on illegal immigration?
I don't like it. I went through the process. My family went through the process. I'm thankful for my mom and dad. Because of them going through the process, I was able to come here legally. I wasn't separated from them. I stayed with my brothers and sisters. I'm thankful that, they went through that process. For all of us to be able to stay together. I went through the process of becoming an American citizen in 2015. So, for someone to just come over here and say, you know what, I don't want to go through that. I just want all the benefits that immigrants, legal immigrants get and Americans get. It's basically a slap across the face for people like me. So I don't support illegal immigration. If you want to come to this country, do it the legal way. If you can't, then just stay where you're at.
I totally agree with that. That's a very good statement there. And then, so where do you see the future of Latinos in the conservative movement?
Well, it's very important for Latinos, especially young Latinos that had the privilege of being born in this amazing country, to remember not to vote from what so many of our own brothers and sisters from example, Cuba and Venezuela fled from, not acknowledging that part of history somehow, because somehow it doesn't support your worldview. We're only doomed to repeat it. I know free this and free that sounds good, but at the end of the day, we need to remember that free anything isn't coming from the pockets of politicians. It's coming from the pockets of the hardworking American taxpayer. Giving the government more power than the American people only leads to more government corruption. And being the largest minority base, both sides are going to be fighting for our vote. However, one side seems to be invested in continue to lying to us to get that vote. And Latinos, we have the power to help those in our community and our friends understand the lies that are hidden behind socialist policies.
Yeah, and I've noticed the amount of socialism is. I mean, it's very popular among, millennials. I mean, a Harvard study showed only 42% of people ages 18 to 29 are in favor of the free market, and a recent one showed 36% of millennials are love communism. And I do think that's actually pretty scary because I know the idea of it sounds pretty intriguing to get all these free things, but in reality it's not. It's really, if you look at it throughout history, it didn't work out in the Soviet Union, it's not working out in Venezuela, just to name a few countries, and it's pretty concerning for our generation.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we need individual activists going out into the communities, and talking to them and talking to our friends, and especially Latinos that have lived through socialism or know their know family members or friends of theirs that left socialist countries, to educate their peers.
Yeah, it's very, very important. So
yeah, we can't rely on the mainstream news media to do that.
Yeah, oh yeah, I know. And then the education system plays a huge role in that too. So, and here's an important question. Are you considered a fake Hispanic if you vote Republican?
Yeah, it's really sad. Because, they think they have the power to take away my identity, who I am as a person, because I don't think the way that they want me to think. I don't vote the way that they want me to vote. And what gives them that right? I'm not anyone's slave. I'm my own individual person. I don't even consider myself a Republican. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat, but I am a conservative. And I will vote for the party that best represents my values. And at this moment, it's not the Democratic Party.
Yeah, no, I mean, they've shifted so far left. I mean, JFK, in 1961, he was very, low taxes. He opposed, opposed abortion, etc. Now it's very radical. Now it's literally the complete opposite, and it's actually really scaring what they want to do. And I've noticed the media is focusing more attention on the sham impeachment rather than their own field. And I mean, you can kind of see why. What are your thoughts on that?
On how far left they have gone?
Yeah.
I think they're nuts. I mean, they're wasting God knows how much American tax dollars they have spent on this impeachment sham.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's crazy. I mean, $25 million on the Russia hoax, and it's just terrible. Yeah. So then leads to this question, to the last question. Do you have a message for young Latino voters, especially since 2020 is predicted to be the largest Latino voter turnout in history?
Something that I tell a lot of my Hispanic followers is, because I do get this question a lot, I'm scared of voting Republican because I don't want to lose my family. I don't want to lose my friends. I don't want to lose my job, especially with being a minority. And something I tell them is, what? Vote based on your values. What are your values? Hispanic values are conservative values. Religion, for example, plays an important role in the Hispanic and Latin American culture when it comes to our faith. As Latinos, we are known to be very religious. Yes. According to Pew Research, over 70% of Latinos in the U.S. identify as Christian. The only part that seems to value my faith as a Latina is the Republican Party, not the Democratic Party. So far, it's been the Republican Party wanting to fight to preserve Christianity in this country. And again, like I said, I don't consider myself to be a Republican. However, I am going to vote for the party that best aligns with my values as a Christian. And as Latinos, we are known to be hard workers. We are known to value our faith. We value life. We also value freedom. Many of us Latinos, older Latinos, we escaped socialist countries. We don't want, they don't want these policies here, and we should learn from them. We should learn from the older generation, the ones that fled socialism. We want to be able to have the freedom to pursue the American dream without having so many restrictions. And if we give the government more power over us, we will never be able to achieve the American dream. Latinos, we vote against our own self-interest when we vote Democrat.
Yeah, that's actually very true, and I like more people to probably to realize that, especially now since Christianity's been pretty under attack, especially by the left now. So I do think it's important that people do vote for the values and realize that the Republican Party is very, they want to, like you said, preserve Christianity, and it's very important to have religion and all that in the United States.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, like I said, don't see it so much as Republican or Democrat. See it, based on who you are as a person and what you stand for.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it better. All right, that was Emma Jimenez. Thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it and hope to talk to you again soon.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Of course. All right, well, that's all we have time for today. We'll go and subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Instagram and listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and other platforms that are convenient for you. I'm Tucker Meyer, and this is The Tucker Meyer Show.